Hey guys, welcome back everybody. Hope you all are doing great. Guys, today's video is completely based on real-time scenario. Today in this video we will see one common work of network engineer in the industry. How a network engineer works on real-time network in the production environment. Or you can say a major task of network engineer on the real-time network. The task generally done by us in the industry. And scenario for today is to connect headquarter and data center through optic fiber cable. To connect headquarter and data center through optic fiber cable. But issue is port is not available on the router, right? We want to connect headquarter and data center through optic fiber, but port is not available. So how to add extra port on the router? What module we need to purchase? Because again we have multiple types of cards, multiple uh, expansions are available in the market. So how you are going to choose card for your organization, for your company according to your requirement? Which SFP you are going to purchase, because again multiple SFPs are available in the market. Which cable you are going to use to connect headquarter and data center? Let's suppose distance between headquarter and data center is 5 km, right? And you are going to connect these two network together directly through optical fiber. So what extra hardwares are required to add port on the router? Which type of cable I'm going to use here to connect headquarter and data center? Like in optical fiber, guys, we have multiple types of cable, like single mode fiber cable, multi-mode optical fiber, right? So which cable we are going to use, what extra hardware we are going to purchase, and what will be the configuration? So at the end of this video I will show you practically like how to add module on the router, and then how we can connect headquarter and data center together. Done, guys? But before starting the video, try to understand how to choose the correct hardware, like correct expansion module for my organization according to our requirement, like NIC port, how to purchase the correct NIC port according to my device, which should be compatible with my router, right? Then which SFP port we are going to purchase, what will be the configuration, what cable I will use. Done? So this video is going to be very helpful, very useful for all network engineers. So guys, if you are a network engineer or if you are planning to become a network engineer, make sure you will watch this video till the end, right? Because today in this video I am going to show you everything step by step, like how to choose SFP for my requirement, which cable is required, and how to configure it. Okay, so now without wasting our time, let's begin. First of all, guys, try to understand the scenario requirement very carefully, because according to your requirement only you are going to purchase the hardware and you are going to configure the devices. So see, this is the scenario. Here you can see I have two network. One is headquarter. This is the headquarter network, and this is data center, right? Let's say my company is planning to open a new data center which is 5 km away from the headquarter, and we want to connect these two networks together directly with the help of optical fiber. I'm not going to take help of service provider here to connect these two sites together, right? And guys, in headquarter you can see I have one router R1. Let's suppose this is Cisco, any router, but as most of you are familiar with 2800 series router, so let's suppose this is 2811 router, and R2 is also 2811 router, 2811 router, 2811 router, right? Both are 2811 router, Cisco router. This router is older, but Again, concept is going to be same, guys, on any other router as well. Only the difference will be according to your model. According to the model of your router, you are going to purchase what? The card, module expansion, or SFP, right? Rest thing will be same. There will be no any difference in the in term of technology. So see, the scenario is what? The company has recently expanded its operations and opened a new data center located a few kilometers away from the headquarters. To ensure high speed connectivity and reliable data transfer between headquarters and new data center, the company decided to use fiber optic cables. Now we can add one cable, we can add more than one cable as well for the redundancy, right? But issue over here is we don't have ports, available ports on router 1 and router 2. Guys, on router number 2, we have two port, fast ethernet 0/0 and fast ethernet 0/1, and both are occupied for the internal connectivity. Like you can see, router 1, both ports are connected with distribution layer switches. So we have two distribution layer switches, and then I have some access layer switches. So design is very simple. I am expecting you know the architecture, right? Network architecture. And today we are not going to even discuss network designing. So let's suppose here now you have end devices, servers, PCs, IoT devices, printers, right? IP phones. These devices are connected through access layer switches. And if you want to connect internet, even you can connect internet on the headquarter like this. Even you can take internet connectivity from multiple ISPs. Again, you need WAN port on this router for WAN connectivity. So you are going to learn how to add, how to install extra port on the router, right? And guys, this is a common task. Most of the time in real time in the production network, we are adding the extra ports, right? We are adding the extra port. So it is very important to identify the card like module expansion which is best for you, right? And then how to install it, how to configure it, and to connect two devices through optical fiber, what extra hardwares are required, right? So now let me, okay, I am expecting that scenario is clear to you. You can see we have same network design in headquarter as well as in data center. You can have different design, no problem at all, but I have same design to make it simpler, right? And now between R1 and R2, I want to place optical fiber. So see here, I have one PDF. Yes. Don't worry about the PDF, guys. I will put this link in the description to download this PDF. And see, these are what expansion module, right? You can have card with multiple ports. You can have card with single port. And again, this port can be Ethernet port. This port can be fast Ethernet port. This port can be 1 gig. This port can be 10 gig, right? So according to your requirement, you are going to purchase the card. So first topic is how to add extra ports on router, right? So see guys, to add extra or additional interfaces on router that currently has two fast Ethernet port 0/0 and 0/1, you need to purchase and install an expansion module. And this is the expansion module, right? A new network interface card, as you know, NIC. Without NIC, you cannot connect two devices together. Like if you have one switch here, and if you want to connect one PC with this switch or two PC with this switch, see, on PCs as well, you will have NIC port, and through the NIC port only you are going to connect it through switch, or you can even connect two computers together directly like this also. But if you have more than two computers, then definitely you have to use a centralized device, that is switch. Earlier we were using hub, but nowadays we are using switch here, right? So you already know the NIC. What is NIC? Network interface card. This is also one hardware which is used to connect networking devices to network. NIC is nothing but a networking hardware which is used to connect networking devices to network. That's it. So on the router, actually we need to add what? NIC, network interface card, means port. See the steps, step by step process, how to add extra ports. So identify router model and compatibility. Guys, first of all, you have to identify your router model, right? How you are going to identify the router model? Simply you can check the model of your router, right? Then you can read the documentation on the manufacturer website. Let's say I'm talking about a device of Cisco, like Cisco 2811 router, right? So I can learn more about 2811 router on the website of, on the official website of Cisco, right? Cisco have already published all documentation regarding this hardware. So whatever hardware a manufacturer company is, guys, delivering in the market, before delivering it, before publishing it, companies are publishing their documentation, right? The guide, complete guide to use it, like what hardwares are compatible with this device. So actually you need to find which type of module is compatible with 2811 router, right? And don't worry, I'm going to give you some example as well, example of module, like which module is best for you according to your requirement. And again, there are many factors, like which type of port you need. You need fast Ethernet port, you need Ethernet port, you need gigaethernet port, right? Which type of cable you are going to use. So first thing is identify the router model and compatibility, that your router support and compatible with which type of hardwares. So router module determine the exact model of your router. Different models have different types of expansion expansion slots, right? And support a specific modules. Compatibility check routers documentation or manufacturer's website for compatible expansion module or NIC. Ensure the module can plan to purchase are compatible with your router model. So this is not like just a visit to a website and purchase the module, any module. No, no, no. First you have to plan it. Whatever module you are going to purchase, that should be compatible with your router, first requirement. Then I have planned it, right? Now I am going to purchase it. Purchase the required hardware. So see, in my scenario, let's suppose to connect this headquarter and data center, I need two ports, two extra ports. Or if you want to connect it with internet, so let's say you need four extra ports, right? Then which type of port? Fast Ethernet, Ethernet, Giga Ethernet, 10 gig, 40 gig, right? So according to these requirement, you are going to now purchase the hardware. So I need two cards with, let's say, two ports, right? This is my requirement. So expansion model, I have already decided which model I am going to purchase, or NIC. Purchase an appropriate network interface expansion module or NIC that provide the additional port to you, or port you need. Common types include HWIC, high speed WAN interface cards for Cisco routers, right? And guys, this module is compatible with many Cisco routers, right? Then tools. Ensure you have all the tools to insert this card in the router, right? Like, let's say this is my, router, Cisco router. And guys, on this router I have already one card, right? This is this card is, let's say, same card, SWIC, and here I have two ports, two fast Ethernet port. This is 0/0, 0/0, and 0/1. Now I need to add one extra card over here with two ports. So I need a screwdriver first. Why a screwdriver is required? See, on all slot you will have the slot cover, right? And the slot cover is fitted, right, seated with the router. So first of all you have to remove that slot cover. If you will check a router on Google, let me show you it to make it more clear. Let me open the Google here and say Cisco router 2811 image. Yes, you can see this one. Let me paste out over here. So see guys, slots, right? Multiple slots are available in this router, but all slots are covered. So these are what, this is what slot cover, this is what slot cover, and see, these slots are screwed. So first of all you need to remove this cover. So you need a screwdriver. So this is what, a tool, right? A screwdriver is a tool to add extra port on router, tool for adding extra port on router. So whatever tool is required, you should have those all tools. Then prepare for installation. Now you have tool, you have purchased the hardware, now you are going to insert it in router, right? So before inserting it, you should back up your configuration, you should back up your configuration. So prepare for installation, and in this section, prepare for installation means take backup of your configuration, backup your current router configuration to avoid any data loss during the installation. Now you are going to add the hardware, right, to your router. So first make sure you have the backup of your configuration, and now you are going to turn off the device, power off the router. Why you are going to power it off? To avoid electrical damage, right? If you will insert the cable directly without power off, then there is chance that hardware can damage. So power off the router, turn off router, and unplug the router before installing new hardware to avoid electrical damage, right? So that your hardware can not be affected. Otherwise, if your hardware is damaged, then your router will not boot up correctly, right? Your router will not boot up, because while boot up, router is going to perform what? Post power of self test, power on self test. See, in the post process, actually routers are checking their hardware only, right? It will check their all hardwares, like their interface, their module, cards. These all hardwares are working fine or not. If any hardware is not working fine, maybe your router will not boot up. Done. So power off the device before inserting the extra hardware. Then install the expansion module or NIC. Locate the expansion slot, find the empty slot on your router. This is usually on the rear or side of the router, but like in this scenario you can see the slots are available backside, right, on the router. Slots are available backside of the router. So first thing is remove the slot cover and use a screwdriver to remove the slot cover from the expansion slot. Now insert the module, the new module which you have purchased, or NIC. Carefully insert the network card module into the slot. Secure the module. Again, screw the module securely into place. After that, again you need to power it on. Power on and verify that router have detected the new hardware or not, right? So after inserting it, you will screw the module and then you are going to turn on the power, right? Reconnect power cable, plug the router back in and power it on, then verify installation. Verify installation. Once the router boot up, verify that new interfaces are recognized by router or not, right? How you are going to recognize, how you are going to check it, verify it? Simply you can run command show IP interface brief. So IP interface brief, it will show you all available interfaces right on the router. So now you can access your router maybe through the console port. I'm talking about the CLI access, right? CLI access through console port or via SSH or via telnet. Then check interfaces. Use command show IP interface brief to check. This command will display the list of interfaces including new ones, right? So if router have recognized the new hardware, then it will show you all available ports including the new one, right? Then guys, configure the new interface. So to configure the new interface, command is going to be interface, then interface type, then interface ID. Let's say I have added a card with fast ethernet port, two fast ethernet port. So when I will run command show IP, see earlier on my router there was two port, correct? This is 0/0 and this one is 0/1. Now I have added one new card here. Again I have two extra port, right? This is F, right? Let's say I have added giga port here, 1 gig port. So the port ID is going to be first. Over here is, let's say this is slot number 1. This is guys what, slot number 0. That's why port ID is 0/0. 0/0 means slot number 0, port number 0. 0/1 means slot number 0, port number 1, right? So in the same way, let's say this slot is 1, right? And port type is 1 gig. So port ID of this port, this new port is going to be what? G1/0 means slot number 1 and port number 0, right? And this is interface type. Port ID of this port is will be what guys? G1/1, slot number 1, port number 1, right? Now I want to configure this port. Simply I will run command interface G1/0. Say no shut, because by default router ports are down, shut down. Say no shut, and then again same IP address, and then whatever IP address you want to configure here and whatever subnet mask you want to configure over here. In the same way I can configure both interface G1/0 and G1/1, right? So this is the configuration of new port here. And now question is how to choose, how to connect fiber cable on the Ethernet port. Right now I have added Ethernet port on the router, right? So now I have added the card on the router, right? Means I have added the Ethernet port, a 1 gig port, and now I am going to connect, I am going to add hardware to connect fiber cable. Now if you want to connect the Ethernet cable, nothing else is required, right? You are ready. Now I can connect the headquarter and data center with Ethernet cable, right? But you know the limitation of Ethernet cable. You can connect two devices within 100 meter, right? But here distance is 5 kilometer. I cannot use Ethernet cable here, right? So now try to understand how we are going to add the hardware, or what extra hardware I'm going to add to connect fiber cable on the router, right? So see guys, this is fiber cable, this is fiber cable connected with this router, or maybe this is switch. So see here I have added one new hardware, right? Here I have added one new hardware because Ethernet port is RJ45 port. These are what? RJ45 port. So you can connect RJ45 connector over here, correct? But if you will check the connector of optical fiber, like here you can see the port of this optical fiber cable, guys, right? We cannot insert it on RJ45 port. Like if this diagram is not visible, let me show you on the internet. Fiber optic cable connector. So yes, you can see this one. I cannot insert this cable on the RJ45 port, right? I can't insert this cable, this fiber cable on RJ45 port, right? Because if you want to see the RJ45 ports, let me show you that also. RJ45 connector. See how RJ45 connector look likes, right? So we can connect the Ethernet cable on the Ethernet port, but we cannot connect the optical fiber cable. So we need a new hardware, that is SFP, right? This new hardware is called SFP, and this is how SFP looks like, right? So we have again different types of SFPs. So you can see these three are different SFPs, right? See the color over here is green, color over here is yellow, right? That means these are different OTR or SFP, right? So to connect fiber cable on the router or on the switches, or you can say on the RJ45 port, you need SFP. You need a new hardware, extra hardware, that is called SFP. So see here, to connect fiber cable on Cisco router, you need to ensure that your router has the appropriate interfaces and module to support fiber connector. But right now on the router, right, there is no any port available to connect optical fiber, right? There is no any appropriate interface available or module available which supports fiber connection. So now maybe we need to replace the card, right, on the router. Whatever card I have added, right, I have installed on the router, maybe I need to replace it. Maybe this card is not supporting SFP, because again this is not also sure that all cards are going to support SFP, right? So you have to check that this card is compatible with SFP or not. Again, we have two types of SFP, SFP and SFP plus, right? So maybe your card supports SFP or maybe your card does not support SFP. So now try to understand the step-by-step process to install this hardware, right, SFP. So identify the router model and compatibility. Router model, determine the exact model of your router, then check the compatibility. Again, check the website of manufacturer company, like check routers documentation or manufacturer's website for compatibility fiber optics interface module. Common types include SFP and SFP plus, right, for 1 gig and 10 gig Ethernet connection. Nowadays for 40 gig Ethernet connection as well, right? And SFP stands for a small form factor pluggable, right? You can see a small form factor pluggable, that is called SFP. This is just a full form of SFP. No one is going to ask you full form, right? So we have two types of SFP and SFP plus, right? Modules for 1 gig and 10 gig Ethernet connection. Now SFP and SFP plus modules. Which modules support SFP and SFP plus? So see, as we need to connect fiber cable on my router, I need to purchase appropriate SFP module, right? SFP module means again the card which should support SFP for your requirement, for your required fiber connection type, right? And now which type of SFP you are going to purchase, that depends on cable type, right? Which type of cable you are going to use, single mode or multi mode. So guys, generally multi mode is used for short distance up to 500 meter, right? And single mode fiber used for long distance. So as you can see, the distance between headquarter and data center is 5 kilometer, right? So I am going to use single mode optical fiber cable here, right? So it is very clear that I will use multi-mode fiber cable. Now, fiber cable type, purchase the necessary fiber optics cable that match the connectors of your SFP or SFP plus module, that is LC connector. Again, we have multiple types of SFP. This is LC, SC connector, right? Those things. If you don't know about the connector, please let me know in the comment section. I will make one separate video on SFP connectors, like types of SFP. Then router interface module. If your router does not already have SFP slot, you may need an additional interface card that support SFP and SFP plus module. So as I told you, maybe what card I have inserted in the router, maybe that card does not support SFP, so we need to replace that card, right? But as we are planning from the beginning, right, because we have already idea that I am going to connect two sites, headquarter and data center. I'm going to use single mode fiber. So according to that, I will choose the network interface card, right? Choosing network interface card, this time, see, earlier your requirement was card should be compatible with your router, right? Now your requirement is card should be compatible with router, as well as card should support SFP and SFP plus module, right? So now you have planned it, right? Which card you are going to purchase, which support SFP and SFP plus module, and it should be compatible with your router as well. Now again, prepare for installation. So again, you need to back up your configuration, then turn off the power, right? So power off the router, power off and unplug the router, then install the SFP or SFP plus module, right? Locate the SFP slot, identify the SFP slot on your router or on the installed interface card, right? So simply you can add SFP as well directly to your router, or you have to purchase a new hardware interface card, right, which will provide you RJ45 ports. But here you are not going to connect Ethernet cable, so you don't need RJ45 port. This time you need the port which support SFP, where you can insert SFP, right? So if you will see the ports which supports SFP, see that port looks like this, right? You can see. Okay, so over here on these ports I can insert the SFP, right? So now you have inserted the SFP. on your directory router or maybe on the installed card. Now you are going to connect fiber cable, right? Connect one end of the cable to headquarter router and one end of the cable to data center, right? Prepare fiber cable, ensure the fiber cable have the correct connector, that is LC connector. Both side connectors should be same, because guys, SFP is going to convert electrical signal into optical fiber, into light signal, right? And vice versa. So both side you are going to use same connector. Then connect to SFP modules. Plug the fiber optic cable into the SFP or SFP plus module on your router. Connect to network. Now you can connect your network to other network, like maybe to internet or to your data center. Connect the other end of fiber optic cable to the corresponding network devices. It can be switch, it can be router, it can be any other device. Now then again power it on and verify the added port, right? So verify the installation. Once router will boot up, verify the new fiber interfaces are recognized by router or not. Check interfaces. Again you are going to run same command, show IP interface brief, right? And configure the new fiber interface, right? Again configuration is going to be same, exactly same like configuring Ethernet port. You are going to configure fiber port, right? So configure the new fiber interface with IP addresses and the necessary setting, whatever configuration you want to perform on that interface, maybe access control list, IP address, no search, helper address, right? Then the configuration process remains similar to adding new interface, but will require correct interface type. That can be gigaethernet or 10 gig ethernet. Ensure that you follow proper procedure to avoid hardware damage and maintain network performance. So if you are going to add any hardware like this, by using this process, first you will back up your configuration, then you will turn off your device, then you are going to insert the hardware, you are going to screw the hardware properly, and after that again power it on and then check the configuration. And after performing the new configuration, again you can save the configuration. Again you have to save the configuration in the startup configuration, right? Now guys, see some recommended modules, some popular modules, right? So let's suppose you have a Cisco 2811 router and you need some WAN ports. You need some WAN ports, maybe to connect your network to the internet or to connect your branch office to other branch office. So you are going to configure VPN, IPsec VPN, right? So you need WAN port. So let's suppose you need a WAN port on Cisco 2811 router. And if you have different router, 4100 series router or any other router, you can check the compatible card on Cisco website. If you have router of Juniper, Huawei, you can check the compatibility on their website, right? So compatible module and NICs for Cisco 2811 router. So see guys, these are compatible with Cisco 2811 router, and as I told you, these cards are compatible with many devices, right? Many other devices. Okay, so HWIC, high speed WAN interface card module. And again we have multiple types of high speed WAN interface card, like high speed WAN interface card 1 gig Ethernet SFP. So this module, this card support what? SFP, because you can see this is SFP card. So actually to connect a router through optical fiber, you need to purchase this card. This module provide 1 giga ethernet port with an SFP slot. But again, you have to purchase 2 card here because one card provide only one port, right? So this module provides 1 giga ethernet port with SFP slot. So now you have SFP slot, you can insert the SFP there, and then you can connect the optical fiber, which allow you to use different types of SFP. SFP transceiver. Transceiver means media converter, like media converter. Media converter is what? Which is responsible to convert one type of signal into another type of signal. That is what media converter. So here SFP is exactly working like media converter, right? And guys, this module is perfect for our requirement because my router is 2811 router, right? So I can purchase this module, then I can install it on my router, and then I can configure the new added interface. Then the second type of card under high speed WAN interface card is 1FE, which will provide you one fast Ethernet port, right? So again, according to your requirement, you are going to purchase the card, right? So let's suppose I need 1 Gbps speed. I am going to purchase this one, then 1G SFP. If I need 100 Mbps speed, I am going to purchase this card, 1FE, right? This module provide one fast Ethernet port for fiber connection. You can use media converter, but it's less efficient than using a module with SFP, with SFP slot directly, right? So there are multiple media converters are available in the market. But again, if you will use the media converter here, any other media converter instead of module with SFP, then there will be some difference in terms of quality, in terms of performance. After that, guys, second type of card is VWIC. This is for mainly voice WAN interface card, right? And again, in voice WAN interface card, we have this card, right? Now you can check according to your requirement this card is suitable for you, for you or not. Although primarily for voice, it can support some WAN functionality as well, not directly related to fiber, but could be part of a broader network upgrade strategy. Then you have this card, network module enhanced, NME. If you will open a device in packet tracer, you will see these all modules are available there, right? Let's say you are using 2811 router in the packet tracer, so you will see all the available card which are supported on 2811 router. If you have any other series routers, you will see all modules are available there, right? So like this, we have these different modules, guys. These are available in the market. According to your requirement, we can purchase it. Then, as I told you, recommended is where is the recommended is high speed WAN interface card. High speed WAN interface card with SFP. So high speed WAN interface card 1G SFP is recommended for my scenario, right? So this is the most straightforward and efficient option for adding a single giga ethernet port with an SFP slot to your Cisco 2811 router. And this is not only recommended for Cisco 2811 router. This is compatible with many mode devices, and this module is most common, right? Because guys, as a network engineer, I am working professional, right? I'm working as a network engineer in industry, and most of the time I have seen that people are using this card, right? Even I have also installed this card many times. Now you need to purchasing SFP depending on your fiber optics cable type. As I told you, how to choose the SFP, best SFP, on the basis of cable type. Which type of cable do you have, right? Like on Google you can see the port fiber optics connector. See, there are multiple types of connectors available, right? So this is what LC connector. Where is LC? This one. This is SC connector. So different type of connector need different types of ports. ST connector, right? But generally we are using this one, LC and SC as well, right? But LC is again most common, and for my scenario I am going to use LC connector only, right? So depending on your optic fiber optic cable type, you will need to purchase the appropriate SFP transceiver. Here are some common options, like you can read: for multi-mode fiber, GLC, XSMM, right? But distance is up to 500 meters, right? So this is not suitable for my scenario, so I'm going to use this one, LHSMS SM, for single mode fiber, and distance is up to 10 kilometer, and distance between headquarter and data center is 5 kilometers. So this SFP is perfect. Now if you want to read more about it, I will share this PDF with you. You can read more. Like this module allow you to add gigaethernet port with SFP support on your router, enabling fiber optics connections. One port gigaethernet high speed WAN interface card with SFP slot. Not with SFP port, with SFP slot. You have to purchase SFP and then you have to insert it. Then compatibility. Compatible with Cisco 2800 series routers, right? So we have lots of router in this series, and all routers are compatible with this module, this SFP, including 2811. Now again, steps to install and configure. Same step we are going to follow, right? First purchase plan, then purchase, then power off the device, backup the configuration, then power off the device, insert the hardware, then again power it on, and configure the new added interface. How to choose the right SFP? So as I told you, it depends on cable type. This module convert electrical signal to optical signal and vice versa, and fits into the SFP slot of high speed WAN interface card. 1 gig SFP. High speed WAN interface card, 1 gig SFP module. Types of SFP transceiver. So see the specification for this SFP, like this is for multi-mode fiber, wavelength is this one, distance is this one, and where we are using it generally for shorter range, like to connect to building. Let's say in a university there are multiple building, 3 building. So here you are going to design CAN, campus area network. How you are going to connect multiple building together, guys? See, inside the building you can use Ethernet cable to connect multiple devices together. Right now, how you are going to connect multiple buildings together? With the help of optical fiber for the higher, for the better data rate, for the better speed. But as distance is short here, I will use multi-mode fiber cable, and if I am using multi-mode fiber cable, then my SFP will be this one, right? Then we have LH for single mode fiber, wavelength is and distance is 10 kilometer. Then we have some more SFP for larger distance, guys, for very long range, for very long distance. EX SMD for single mode fiber, and it support distance up to 40 kilometer. Then we have this one, which support ultra long range connection. Then GLCT, which support standard Ethernet connection over Cat5 Cat6 cabling. When selecting an SFP, consider these following factors. Like you can see, we have multiple types of SFPs, and differences are in terms of cable, first of all cable, then in terms of distance, then in terms of wavelength, right? So whenever you are purchasing a SFP, you should consider these all factors like distance, fiber type, wavelength, and application. Distance means determine the distance between devices you need to connect. Use multi-mode fiber for shorter distance and single mode fiber for longer distance. Fiber type, check whether your existing fiber infrastructure is single mode or multi-mode. So existing, it depends on existing infrastructure as well for the compatibility, right? So if my existing infrastructure is using single mode fiber cable, then I am going to use single mode cable, right? So these are the factors we should carry while purchasing SFP. Then wavelength, ensure the SFP you choose operates at same wavelength if they need to be compatible with each other existing environment. Application, determine the specific use case, such as within a building or between a building or across a campus, right? So now guys, let me do one thing. Let me design this network in packet tracer, because in packet tracer we will have lots of module, right? So see, here I have some routers. Now I'm going to use switches here. Let me use this one, like this is 3650 distribution layer switches, right? So let me say this is distribution layer switch 1, distribution switch 1. These are actually core switches, right? Distribution switch 2, right? Let's say this is my headquarter and this is my data center. Distance is 5 kilometer between headquarter and data center. Then here I have some access layer switches, so I can use any switch as access layer. Let me, right? Then I'm going to connect these switches through Ethernet cable. So see, I am using fast Ethernet link here to connect these devices. right? Now I'm going to connect these two switches together. So let me select the fiber cable here. You can see I have fiber cable here. Let me select the fiber cable and let me connect it. You can see we have lots of giga ethernet ports on this switch. So let me use any giga ethernet port. Let's say 1/0/24. See what it's saying? The cable can't be connected to that port. So guys, these ports are RJ45 ports, right? You can connect Ethernet cable only. You cannot connect fiber cable. So what you need to do here, you need to add card, or if ports are available on the card, SFP port, then simply you can add the SFP here, right? Simply you can add SFP here. So let me click on this switch and see guys how this switch looks like. This is, there are two fan and there are two power port. So like this we can give power to this device, but as we are going to add here card, right? Let me turn off this device. Now I have turned off the device. Now I am going to add the card here. See, we have multiple types of card and ports. So this is, see here we have some SFP ports on this switch, right? By default we have some SFP port on these switches, right? These ports are compatible with SFP, right? These ports are not compatible with SFP. So here we cannot insert the SFP. So as I want to connect fiber cable on this switch, what I need? Either I can add a new card which support SFP, but here we have already some SFP ports, right? We have already some SFP ports here. So simply I am going to insert the SFP, right? So here you can see you have some SFPs and these are, see, the modules available over here. Power supply, then this is the SFP. This is SFP. Let me see, GLCT. This is also one. You can use any one, but I'm going to use this one, this SFP. Let me insert it over here. Now you can see how this port looks like, right? I have inserted one SFP, right? So now I can connect one fiber cable over here. So there are two small port, one for transmitter, one for receiver, right? Fiber cable. See, why we have two ports here? One is transmitter, one is receiver. In the same way here also we have two ports. Now if you need more ports to connect fiber cable, you can add more SFPs here, right? SFP1, SFP2, SFP3 and SFP4. Now I have added the SFP here. Now let me select the fiber cable and now click on the device. Now you can see new added ports, G1/1/1, G1/1/2, right? 1/1/3, 1/1/4. So if you are thinking why we have one slash, then one slash, then one, right? So last number is, guys, your port ID. Second last is your slot card number, right? And maybe the switch is in stack, right? We can configure stacking over here. So that's why we have first one is indicating a stack number of this switch, second number is indicating card, third number is indicating port, right? So now I can simply click over here. Now you can see I'm able to connect fiber cable, but on switch number 2 again we don't have any SFP port, right? So I cannot connect it. So what I need to do here, again on switch number 2 also I need to add fiber cable, sorry, SFP. So let me say SFP1, SFP2, SFP3 and SFP4. I have added 4 SFP here. Now let me select the fiber cable. See, this is the fiber cable, and click over here 1/1 and let me connect with 1/1. Now see, this is how we can connect two networks together, right? This is my headquarter, this is my data center. Now I can use one more cable here. Let's say 1/2, 1/2. So now you can see we have two fiber cable between headquarter and data center. Now the configuration, how to configure it. So go to configure terminal. See, by default this device is off. So first of all, let me give power. Let me turn it on, power on. And this is high-end device, guys. So that's why we have two power port here. And see, we have two ports, two fan as well, right? Three fan. Fans are integrated with the device, right? But nowadays we have fan, not integrated fan, right, on the devices. Now I have turn it on. Now go to config T and say no, enable config T, host name, distribution layer switch 1, and after that interface G, let's say 1/0/1, 1/0/1. This is my LAN port, 1/0/1. This is my LAN port. You can see connected with distribution layer, sorry, access layer switch 0, this port, right? So let me configure this port in VLAN 10, right? Let's say we have some servers connected with this port. So switch port, access VLAN 10. Now VLAN 10 is not there in VLAN database. That's why this switch is creating one VLAN, right? Now here, now you cannot configure the IP. So what you can do, you can create one SVI interface VLAN 10, and say IP address. Let's say 10.1.1.1, 255.255.255.0. Done, and say no, shutdown. Right, now you can verify the routing table. So IP route, right, there is no route. So IP interface brief. So your VLAN interface is up, right? So let me enable the routing here, IP routing, and now so IP route. You can see the directly connected network. Now I am going to configure 1/1/1, right, which is connected with fiber cable. So interface G 1/1/1, and say no set to this port, and IP address. Let's say between router 1 and router 2, between router 1 and router 2, or you can say distribution layer switch 1 and distribution layer switch 2, I'm going to use 2L network here, 2L.1.1.0/24. And on the lower link, let's say 21.1.1.0/24, you can use any subnet, right? So now here, let me say IP. I'm not able to configure IP, say no switch port, and then IP address 12.1.1.1, 255.255.255.0. Exit interface G 1/1/2, say no set and no switch port, and IP address 21.1.1.1, 255.255.255.0, right? Do so IP interface brief. So this port 1/0/1 is up, fine, and VLAN 1, VLAN 10, that is fine, and these two ports, right, their line protocol and status are down because their neighbor ports are down, like on distribution layer switch 2. So now let me take you to distribution layer switch 2, guys. And this on distribution layer to switch 2 also I am going to create one VLAN. Let me power CLI. It's booting. Switch has booted. Now say no and enable config t and then let me say interface g1/0/1 switch port access VLAN, let's say 20, exit interface VLAN 20, and here I am going to configure IP, let's say 20.1.1.1 255.255.255.0 and say no such. Done. And IP routing to enable routing and do so IP route. So see 20 network is directly connected over here, right? Now I am going to configure 1/1/0 which is connected with fiber cable. So interface G1/1/1 and say no set here and no switch port and then IP address. IP address 12.1.1.2 exit interface G1/0/1/2 no set and no switch port and then IP address. By default ports of switch is switch port, means it carry traffic of single VLAN. Now here IP is 21.1.1.2 255.255.255.0. Now let me take you to switch 1 again. You can see their ports are now up. Do so IP interface brief. You can see these interfaces are now up, right? Fiber ports. And so IP route. Now you can see all directly connected networks are there, right? In the same way on distribution layer switch 2 also you can verify. So IP route, all directly connected networks are there. Now let me verify the connectivity between headquarter and data center. So ping 12.1.1.2 and see ping is working, right? So configuration is exactly same like configuring Ethernet port on the Cisco routers or switches. Configuration of fiber ports is going to be exactly same. You don't need to add any additional configuration, guys, to configure SFP or fiber port. Now here I can configure a routing protocol to exchange route. In the same way, let me check the lower link is working fine or not. Ping 20.21.1.1.2. See, the lower link is also working fine. Now let me configure the routing protocol. Here say router OSPF process ID 1 network. Which network? 12.1.1.0 wildcard mask 0.0.255 and let's say area 0. Network 21.1.1.0 0.0.255 and area 0. Then LAN network is 10.1.1.0 0.0.255 area 0. So IP OSPF interface brief. You can see OSPF is enabled on all interfaces, right? Status is waiting. It is waiting for DR and BDR. Now go to distribution layer switch 2 and on distribution layer switch 2 also let me configure the OSPF router OSPF 1 router OSPF 1 and say network 12.1.1.0 0.0.255 area 0. Now I am expecting OSPF neighborship on the fiber link and network 21.1.0 0.0.255 and area 0. Then network 20.1.1.0 0.0.255 area 0. Now you can see we have OSPF neighborship here. So IP OSPF neighbor. Done. So IP OSPF neighbor, and now you can check the routing table. So IP route OSPF. So see, this router is learning remote network which is running on distribution layer switch 2, right? And now these two user means user from headquarter can communicate with user of data center. Now if you want to perform the route filtering, because in real time definitely we will not advertise all subnet from headquarter to data center or from data center to headquarter. Will advertise only a specific application, right? Or maybe a specific department. So ping 20.1.1.1 and source not able to run source command here. See, I am able to ping. Simply you can connect one PC here to verify that. Then so IP OSPF interface G1/1/1. See the OSPF network type broadcast, right? So OSPF or whatever configurations we have on the Cisco routers and switches, guys, configuration is going to be same. See, OSPF network type on the Ethernet port is broadcast. So OSPF network type on this port is also broadcast, right? So actually this port is even your Ethernet port. You are using one media converter to connect fiber cable, right? To convert electrical signal into optical signal. That's it. So this was guys a video to make you understand how to add extra ports on router or how to connect two devices, two Cisco routers and switches through fiber cable. If you have learned something from this video, please hit on like button, guys. If you have not subscribed my channel, if you are new on the channel, please subscribe this channel, because I'm uploading this type of video every day on my channel, and in future you will get many more real-time scenarios. If you have any specific scenario and you want a video on that, please share your scenario in the comment section. If you have any interview question that if you have received it in your in the interview, please share that question with us so that we can share interview question with others, right? Like this other can get help from you, right? And now guys, if this video is really helpful and you want more videos like this, means real time scenario videos, then please type yes in the comment section. Once you will type yes in the comment section, I will get to know, oh, these type of videos are helpful for my subscribers, right? So I will try to make more videos like this, and really your yes in the comment section will motivate me to make more videos, to work hard, right? So if you want to appreciate, please type yes in the comment section. And if you are looking for any live training, guys, please visit pmnetworking.in. We are starting latest we are starting new batch of CCNA from 12th of this month, right? Actually date is 10th of this month, but on 10th I think 10th is Saturday, right? So this is weekend class, this is sorry weekdays class. So we'll meet live from Monday to Friday. So that's why your class means this CCNA batch will start from 12th of August. If you are looking for any other course like CCNP, our CCNP batch is starting from 19th, like CCNP in core plus NRC. We have combo batch as well, CCNA plus CCNP. We have SD-WAN, service provider, data center. Many more courses are available on my website. If you are looking for any live training, must visit there. That's all for today. We'll meet soon in next video, guys. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to type yes in comment section. Bye bye.